folks, Caleb Booker here. You're about to watch a free psychic reading that I did for Marie through YouTube Live recently. So I do free readings as often as I can, but it's not always possible. And the format's going to change. Sometimes it's just I'll have you send in questions. Sometimes it's going to be on Reddit or Facebook Live or YouTube Live. You know, it depends on what the opportunity is. So in order to make sure that you can take advantage of a free reading, what I'd like you to do is go to www.thepsychicvillage.com/free-readings. I just have to really think real hard about that. Yeah. So it's thepsychicvillage.com/free-readings. And just pop in your email address there, and it's no problem. I'll just send you an email before the opportunity to get a free reading opens, so you get advance notice. And I'll also keep you in the loop on anything else that's going on over on this end. That's about it. Enjoy the reading. We'll dive in. But right now, Marie has a second question. Let me just see what she's got here. I'm dreaming of moving to the USA, but I feel like I can't leave my mom alone. Can you please see if there's a way to take her with me? Or should I leave my dream of moving to the USA? Marie, there is the third option as well that you're not considering, which is to go without her. And I'm just tossing that out there because it is the third option. I'm not saying that that's something that I'm seeing as a thing you should do, just that it needs to be acknowledged that that's a possibility, that there may be a possibility where you could leave and she would be fine. I don't know that that's the case. I haven't, to be quite honest, I think your instincts are probably bang on that you need to make sure she's okay. But I just wanted to open that up, that when we're looking at the future, we have to consider all possibilities and open ourselves up to everything. So let me just sort of process it now, reach out and see what I can find out about this. Move to the USA or not? What would be the point of moving, though? Okay, because there's also that whole other half. I don't know what we're going to discover, Marie. I honestly don't know. I have like all these threads connecting to your question, but I don't know what they connect to yet. So let's put some cards down and find out what's going on. Okay, some cards came back from before, but they have different meanings in this context, so don't worry. So, there's your mother up here being represented by the King of Wands. One thing that I want to toss out about this, Marie, before we go on, that what's this telling us is that your reasons for wanting to be with her are only 50% about her needing you. The other 50% is you feeling like you need her. There is a certain level of like you're under the impression that you just wouldn't be able to survive without her. And that's not necessarily the case. She did a good job raising you. She did a good job instilling in you all the, not just values, but the skills required to exist even in a world where she's far away. So it's important for you to recognize that that's half of your motivation. And yet, legit, the other half, though, does seem to be that she does need you too. But bring that in, the fact that you are capable of being independent, and there's a huge part of you that doesn't think that's the case. A huge part of you thinks you need her still. And it's time to start acknowledging that part of you, because the longer you deny that it exists, the longer it'll stay. That self-doubt will build and build and build, and it'll start interfering with other things in your life. So working through that self-doubt by acknowledging it, first and foremost, is the first step. And after that, it kind of evaporates like water on hot pavement. It'll go away on its own. But you have to acknowledge that it exists first, that doubt. And it's much bigger than you want to admit. It actually changes the way you act and make decisions on a daily basis. So, but she did a good job giving you everything you need to live in a world where she's far away. You got to believe that she did a good job as a mom. And so you're okay. You're going to be all right if she decides, no, you go, dear. I'm making arrangements to be okay on my own, which I could see her doing, but you would never put up with that. All right. So let me just figure this out. There's like a strong argument for, like, there's an argument for going, and there's a lot of arguments for staying. And there's more arguments for staying than going. But what I'm really seeing here about this is that the arguments for staying have nothing to do with your mom per se. At all, actually. Like, there's not even one. Not one thing here says that you shouldn't move, that she's the reason you shouldn't move. And by the way, I'm not seeing a possibility for you bringing her with you. I don't know why that is, but it's just like I don't see an option for it here. But the reasons you shouldn't go don't have to do with her necessarily. They have to do with the fact that there would be problems on the other end. And there's a possibility for it all working out really, really well, but you would have to clear a lot of the stuff we just discussed, actually. Clear a lot of the self-doubt, because it would actually make you put yourself in a compromising position. Your doubt itself is actually dangerous. It's forcing you into decisions that would actually cause problems down the road. So there's the loneliness factor. There's the fact that there would be money problems that you aren't anticipating at the moment. And there's the doubt thing connected to what we were saying, that, again, you don't necessarily feel it at the moment, but with her not in your daily life, it would be overwhelming. If you could clear up this stuff, so if you could make a plan for having social connections on the other end, and again, that might mean bringing your mom with you. Actually, that might actually be a really good thing, just from a personal, I need this perspective. If you could make sure that you had more money set aside than you think you need, because you do need more money than you think. And if you can prove to yourself that you can be very bold and act with boldness, then this can work out really, really well. And you can make all the smart decisions that you need to make on the other end. The thing about that move to the USA is it's not just about a move to the USA. It's about the 1,001 decisions you make once you get there about how to build a life in a strange land. It's so much more bizarre from your perspective. Bizarre is the word that comes to mind. It's so much weirder than you think it will be, even despite your visits making it seem like it wouldn't be so different or so tough. There'd be a culture shock problem, and it would not work out really well right now. So I would normally encourage people to make leaps. I'm always encouraging people to take the jump, but I think we're being cautioned on these three things before you make that leap, because it's possible to do it, but you definitely have to take care of your social welfare before you move. Like, make a plan. Either go to where you have relatives or to where people are going to be that you can associate with. You got to be very careful about planning your relationships ahead of time. Definitely have more money set aside than you think you'll need. A lot more. At least 1.5 times, if not twice as much. Okay? Actually, at least twice as much. And then the other thing is just, you have to depend on yourself to be a very bold person, to say things that would be potentially embarrassing. Like, and you're not that person. But you have to be the kind of person who's really comfortable with just being embarrassed a little, and that's kind of huge. But also just like operating without a support structure. So here's the irony, is that we're definitely encouraging you to sort out your social stuff before you go, but also you have to be the kind of person who doesn't even need it. that's that's both at the same time, which is actually maybe more common than you might think. I don't normally see it in this format, but often with relationships, like when people ask me about when I'm going to meet the person that I'm supposed to marry, often the answer is you can meet them when you're ready, when you don't feel like you need a relationship, then you'll meet, but not a day sooner. That's pretty common. That this isn't about relationships, it's about a move, but it's similar in that, you definitely need to have some sort of plan for relationships, and you definitely need to feel like, oh, I'd be fine without them, but have both. You're not this person right now, and you know that. I don't have to tell you that. But you can be, and it doesn't take that many experiences. You just go ahead and say what's on your mind with a little bit more unabashedness. It's not just about saying what's on your mind. It's about doing things that you would find embarrassing normally. Start small, but do start, like now. It affects your academic career. It affects your work career. It affects your whole life. There's people that you need to help down the road, and you won't be able to help them unless you achieve this skill. So this is a big deal. Yeah. So there's work to do before the move. But here's the other thing that I got at the tail end of this. That's not necessarily in the cards, but I did get. And that's that moving with your mom becomes possible down the road if you start working on these things. If you start working on saving up more money than you think you need, start working on being a little bit bold and, not worrying so much about what people think of you. If you start doing those things, then the possibility for moving with your mom kind of opens up. But you have to become this person first. So your mom may be the solution. Moving with her may be the solution. But you need to sort of be of the mind that you can, well, I would survive without her, and also I'm going to say what's on my mind in any given situation, because my thoughts are awesome. and have that money set aside. So there's a certain amount of that. And then suddenly moving with her, the solution to that problem reveals itself once these two things are taken care of. And one last thing about that, moving with her is a very good thing for both of you. Yeah. Yeah, so that covers that. If that's clear to you, great. If you want expansion on any one of those points, let me know, though. I'll give you a second to respond in chat. Awesome. You're very welcome, Marie. Sounds challenging, but I like challenge. Otherwise, life would be boring. I absolutely agree with you, Marie.